Hi,
love
I'm
it.
Jessica Brown, Mrs. Colorado Universal 2021. Welcome to Beyond the Barbie Powerhouse Paper Dolls, asking the question, who inspires the women who inspire us? Joining me today is a long distance friend of mine, Kacee. We have
Hi.
connected through many things that we have in common. Kacee, would you actually, I said we were going to start with who inspires you, but I lied. I'd like to start with what you do and how we
Okay,
connected. Okay.
awesome. So I do dog walking from home, some dog play, dog enrichment, pet sitting. So really just trying to provide that in between, working, babies, all that stuff. So I want to kind of prevent the shelters, I don't have enough time. My dog's got these behaviors going on. So I really wanted to provide that to people. That way, the dogs stay in the home and hopefully prevent some of those dogs from ending up in not so ideal situations. So
Absolutely.
definitely saw, I believe you had posted your kind of campaign with your anti-bullying in one of the groups that I help admin. So I really saw that and I really thought that was a cool way to integrate our breed with a huge message.
Yes, and we talked about getting some copies of my book, and
Mhm.
you've been super supportive of my children's book, and so we connect on not only just dog walking, but also on the mission to help end stigmas, breed specific legislation, and all of the ripples of consequences that come from those negative stereotypes.
Yes.
These interviews are called Paper Dolls because they're linked to the woman before and the woman after. And you are coming right after my friend Kacee, and you guys actually have in common with me as well. The woman who has inspired you the most is your mom. Tell me
Yes.
about your mom.
Oh, she's awesome. She, I mean, even, I get kind of choked up talking
Yeah.
about it. She's just resilient. It's the word I could absolutely say the most. Like, she has had so many not so ideal things happen, and she has just never said, why me? It's just, okay, we're just going to bump along and hopefully it'll be a smooth ride. So she's always supported me, always encouraged me. She's just awesome. Just a good person, good hearted. And no matter, even if it's not the easiest thing, she always does the right thing. And that's been, in a world like we are in today, it's very rare. So
Yeah.
it's an inspiration for sure.
So Kacee, is your mom close to you? Do you get to see her often?
She's actually in Nebraska, so driving wise, she's about 7.5 hours away from me right now. She kind of stays there, just finances and stuff. It's a lot cheaper in that area. So she honestly comes probably every couple of weeks or a month. So she's super committed to, coming here and seeing us and supporting me. I mean, she came last time and we have kind of some dog ramps and stuff in the backyard we use. And she, makes sure she gives me that mom seal of approval. Like, hey, look, you're doing it slowly, but you're doing it.
Oh, that's great. And you have one kid? How many
I
kids do you
have
have?
3. I have a 9-year-old that stays in Denver part-time. So he ties me back to Colorado. So
Okay.
I'm there frequently. And then I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-month-old son.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yes.
Oh, you really
So
have your hands full.
yeah. Yes. So that kind of is what ties me into why I do the dog walking and stuff. I kind of look at it like, if I don't have any excuses and I have so much going on, it's possible. It's about
Yeah.
time and priorities.
So a 1-month-old baby, that means that kid is an entirely quarantined baby.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Totally quarantined. So the whole OB experience was it was crazy. And it's definitely a lot different than, even my 3-year-old. That whole birth experience and the whole pregnancy has just been kind of wild.
Yeah, I bet it's kind of a surreal experience to be bringing
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
about when we're talking about death so often.
Yes, yes. And honestly, we were very fortunate. We the local hospital had it to where you could have your partner at the ultrasounds and the delivery. So it wasn't as stressful as, even 15 miles down the road, that hospital is, hey, you can't have your partner at the ultrasounds. And it's really, that's probably the thing that's the hardest for a lot of us is just, hey, this sucks.
Doing it alone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's scary and it's, there's so many unknowns while you go through it and stuff. So it was really good to have that support. At least I made it a point. I wasn't going to, I would have drove an hour if I had.
Yes. Oh, I totally agree that. And I am really close with my mom as well. And she's a single mom. I'm an only child. So we already had that, real bond.
Yes.
And then I grew up living with my grandparents as well. So we were 3 generations in one house until I had my first child. And then we were 4 generations in one house. And that's how I like it.
Yeah.
I want us together.
Because it takes a village. And, I really like the elderly folks and talking to them because the world was so different. And I think if we can kind of just all reflect on that sometimes or have that person to talk to, I think it helps with morals.
Oh, I totally agree. I think that we need to incorporate our elders into our culture more. One of the programs that my nonprofit does is connecting volunteer letter writers with seniors who have been most isolated because of the pandemic.
Oh,
so
awesome.
If you'd like to become a volunteer letter writer,
do that everywhere. And yeah,
wonderful.
absolutely. Have the kids do something too. They like to paint and stuff, and we have an excess of paintings and stuff. So
oh, they would love that. I printed off just a bunch of pictures, like, because most of the time that you write, you don't get paired with somebody. You just send these like message in a bottle type things. Sure. So I would send pictures of like my husband and I on our honeymoon and just like, here's when I was happy. Hope it makes you happy,
Right. Or have some reflections and the memories and stuff. That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah. I'm hoping somebody writes back at some point. I would really like that.
Because
I do a stack of letters every week, and it's like I'm standing on my little island, like tossing this little, message in a bottles out into the ocean and just waiting for one to come back.
The CNAs have. I wonder if I have a couple of girls around here that are CNAs, so maybe I'll see if they can try to maybe encourage.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah, let's get their facilities on my list, and I'll put it out to my pen pals. But if they have any, because they can take dictation. Like somebody can write a letter and they can just write it.
CNAs too. There's one gal that literally I was talking to her. She kind of sponsors this lady. She doesn't have a lot of family, so she'll go buy like special snacks for her and stuff. So I know she would write back for them. So
perfect. Those are the perfect people. There's a lot of people, especially because of the pandemic, who are just really shut off from the world.
Right. And how can we help within the limits that we're given?
Yes.
And we'll do it. That's awesome.
That's where it came from. Yeah.
That's cool.
Something else that you and I have in common, since you and I are just like firing the things we have in common,
right?
Is that if you could travel anywhere, you said Italy. Why did you say Italy? Have you been?
I have not.
Me either.
We are Italian and Italian.
Me too.
Like I want to see that and, just kind of have that experience. Like, hey, this is kind of, I think a lot of how we're raised is a lot of what influences us, but I think deep down there's still some of those things that tie back to that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I want to go there and experience it and not only be able to say I've done it, but some of our close friends have went and they said it was just, one of the experiences you have to do. So definitely.
My mom went and actually traced our family roots, and she found a distant relative in some tiny little village in northern Italy.
Nice.
I would love to do that. My dad tried to trace our roots as well because his father was Portuguese. So he went on this like Portuguese pilgrimage. And then afterwards he found out his dad was Brazilian Portuguese.
Oh, wow. So he went
to Portugal.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Let's see your favorite sound. Did you say rain or ocean? What did you say?
Running water. So
running water.
It was a really broad one because I like the mountains, so that kind of sound, but I'm just drawn to water, so as long as it's some sort of.
Are you a water sign?
I am an Aquarius. So
yeah. So yes, my sister's Aquarius.
Yes.
And the other sound that you said you like is wind chimes.
Yes. Peaceful. I'm one of those that I like to sit outside, like, on the porch, or I just like to be outside. So all of those kind of nature sounds and that stuff. And I think it's really calming and soothing. Reminds me of grandparents. I don't see a lot of people that have a bunch of the wind chimes like they used to. So it's almost like an early childhood memory type of.
Yeah, there's not as many as there were when I was younger, for sure. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
So where we always end our interviews is talking about legacy.
Okay.
So I would like to know what you want to be remembered for, what mark you want to leave on this world. What is your legacy, Kacee?
Honestly, I just want to leave the fact behind that, anybody can train their dogs. Anybody can have an amazing dog or a well-behaved dog. It's, really just about the resources and the time and the commitment, and how determined are you to have a dog like that, and how do you want to, portray our breed, and going into it knowing that they've already got these labels or stigma, and just being determined and committed to having a good dog, you know, and not stopping. So just giving somebody and
to
leaving
keep people from giving up on their dogs.
Yep, exactly. One of the biggest frustrations I see all the time is, you know, I have to rehome my dog because he's destroying something, or, you know, he's not getting along with other dogs. And it's
Or
like,
worse, dropped off at the shelter.
yes. And
They don't understand. They sit there just cowering in the corner, waiting for their human to come back.
Exactly.
It's tragic.
And the resources, you know, if you can put them out there and people have them, then it's up to them to use them. But I definitely want to be one of those people that leaves at least the resources there. That way there's no excuses, and it's up to the owner at that point.
Absolutely. Well, and I can't wait to provide you with some copies of my books so we can change breed perception. Just thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me, Kacee. I really enjoyed this. I didn't realize how much we had in common.
Right. Well, and I really love your mission, and I really appreciate the opportunity too. It's really nice to be able to get to know people from completely different, you know, areas, lifestyles, all that, and still be able to have that common ground. So I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I figured when I was looking at like, okay, what can I do during my year with a title from my house?
Right.
And I thought, okay, let me come at it backwards. What does my community need?
Those things too. Oh my gosh.
What's that?
What a time for you to accomplish what you do.
It's actually been, once I started looking for ways to connect people, I mean, I've just been working full time at it. Yeah. There's just, everybody is isolated just by being human. I think that's just a function of having a thinking brain, you know, that we have our own internal monologue. And so we feel separate from other people, even when we're around them. So now that we're isolated physically as well. So everything I'm trying to do is to show that we do have that common ground. We do have those connections. Because the only way through any of this is together. And for the first time, like in 100 years, the whole world is facing the same thing at the same time. And if that's not unifying, I don't know what's going to be.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're doing
so
great.
Thank you for being with me. And I am Jessica Brown. This is Colorado Universal 2021. This is Powerhouse Paper Dolls. Thank you.